Alright, so now that the intercooler pipework is done, I've taken all the components off, just to paint them with that epoxy mastic. I took the battery tray out at the same time. There was a little bit of surface rust on it, nothing major. And where I cut into the frame here and here and those kind of things, I just painted over them to seal them up so that we won't have rust issues in the future. I also was able to get the mounting point here for the bottle, the washer bottle, which I cleaned up and it looks fantastic. I'm tempted to do the same with this because this is quite ugly and weathered, but I'm also worried that I will break it basically. I have another one, but they're different on the other models. They have this pipe goes over here and the bottom pipe here I think comes out from the side and the sensors on the side. So that one suits me better. So I'm tempted to clean it, but I'm also hesitant. So that's that. Once that paint sets and everything, I can start putting together all of that. The likes of the airbox can go in as well. I have to do the oil pipe from here, from those 2 points there. And the same for the top feed, the oil feed, the oil return oil feed have to be piped in as well. So that's where we're at with that. The oil cooler pipework, I got my 90s put onto it. Nice neat 90s on it. So again, that is something that I can get closed up once we get the painting, once the paint is set and everything like that, and we start putting everything back together. So the next thing I have is you remember there was an issue with the anti-roll bar. So my idea was I kind of put it up on Facebook, and I got a few people don't have this issue at all, and then some have it. So it's obviously something to do with certain versions of the sump and certain versions of the sump pan, and certain versions of the anti-roll bar, or the type of car it originally was, because this was a 300T petrol. And the bar is bigger. It's actually a much wider bar than the other. I have a couple there from different cars and stuff like that, and they're much skinnier. This is the thickest bar you have. So either way, I was going to use that. So what I did was I pulled the mount off a donor car that I have here, a car that we're breaking for parts, and they're okay. They're in all right condition. I can give them a little bit of a spruce up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a section, probably from there to there, and weld in 15mm wider of or longer, do you know what I mean, of metal in there. So I'll just lengthen these by 15mm, and hopefully that will be enough to get me out, see me through. I'm doing it on these ones because I don't want to, if I mess up, I still have the other set there. The other alternative is I can actually space it out from the chassis down, but then again I'm going to have to use a 15mm piece of steel, which would be quite big. This is only 3mm steel, there's nothing to it, so I think I put in a 3mm section. It's obviously not, if it's only 3mm, it's obviously not going to be under a huge amount of load, or at least it's sufficient to do that. So if I put in my 15mm section and I weld it in nice, do a good weld on it, I can't see an issue there. So that's my intention. My only downside is I have to use stainless steel filler because that's all I have here, and stainless steel is a little bit, it's a harder material, so its shear I think is do you know what I mean, it's more brittle than flexible, whereas mild steel has a lot of flex to it. Stainless steel doesn't have that flex, so if it does snap, it snaps. I can live with that, but I think we'll be alright. So that's the next bit to do today, and then we'll once we get that done, I'm going to see if I can mix up a very small amount of epoxy mastic and paint it, these, just to protect them. Anyway guys, I'll check back with you when I've got that done. Alrighty, so we're at the halfway point here. We're actually past the halfway point because we've made up our little sections to be welded in. But there's one done. Just to give you an idea, I cut them at just slight, maybe 21 mil, and then when you're finished out, they're basically coming in at 19 mil of an addition. Bear in mind for clearances and stuff like that, we're getting our 20 mil addition in there. You can see that it's quite a bit longer. It's 20 mil longer. So hopefully that will give me my drop that I need. And as I say, the clearances are so tight again that I can actually fusion weld these, which I'm getting. So what I do is I get a nice fusion weld puddle going, and then I drop a little bit of filler rod in, which is the stainless steel rod. So it's actually fused as mild steel. Then you get a bit of a stainless steel rod kind of into the puddle. Then I drag it forward and let that heat up again, and it then makes this puddle kind of fusion weld itself a bit, and then I just dab in a little bit of stainless steel filler rod. I think it's going to be a good strong fix on it. There's plenty of heat, so what you're seeing there, because it's grey and not, let's say, your pretty kind of multi-colours, is two things. It's mild steel, and also there's so much heat going into it to get the weld kind of perfect that it's radiating out very quickly. Anyway guys, I'm going to do the same on this one here, and then I don't know if I'll bother doing a test fit, or I'll just assume it's going to go well and paint them up. I know probably best just to do a test fit. Alright guys, I'll check back in a bit. Alrighty guys, so sorry about the focus here. I have those sections welded up, and just did a quick kind of test fit to see if we'll still be able to seat well, and I think we will be. If you have a look, there's a little bit gap, but that's because these aren't tightened up yet. And then my actual gap for the anti-roll bar is quite good. There will be, when this is tightened up, there'll be you'll get your 20 mil of a spacing, or 15 possibly, which is ample amount of spacing. It's just at the moment when you're looking at this here, it's not tightened in, and when it gets tightened, that gap will decrease, if we can see there. Sorry, this bloody camera is not wanting to focus. You get kind of an idea. Anyway, so I think that'll be a good little fix. If it breaks at any point, I will definitely report back and let you guys know that it's not a good idea, but it's all like for like. So I know there will be possibly a weakness along those welds. That's why I'm not grinding them down. I'm just going to paint over these and call it a win. Alright guys, thanks for watching.